Okay, we're going to start chapter 11. We're going to talk about area and volume. We're going to start that with circles. You've learned a little bit about circumference and area of circles in the past, and we are going to build on that. So I want you to start with these 4 review questions. You're going to fill in the blank with the words that I've given you in this word bank. You're going to use each word once. Come back when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, the first one says a blank is a segment with one endpoint at the circle center and the other on the circle. That's a radius. And then the next one is a segment with 2 endpoints on the circle. That's the diameter. Then the blank of a circle is the distance around the circle. That's the circumference. And for the last one, the number pi is a ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Okay, so hopefully you remember from middle school, grade school, that the formula for circumference is either pi times the diameter or 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, so either one of those will work. The diameter is 2 times the radius, so the formulas are the same. Let's try this on a few. So for this one, we want to find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 11 inches. So we're going to use the equation with r in it, which was 2 pi r. And filling in what we know, 2 pi, the radius is 11, so we have times 11. Now, there are 2 ways you can represent your answer. I might say leave your answer in terms of pi. That means multiply, simplify as much as you can, but do not push the pi button in your calculator. So I can do 2 times 11 and get 22, and then you leave the pi alone. So it's 22 pi inches. If I said leave your answer in terms of pi, you'd say the answer is 22 pi inches. But if I say round your answer to the nearest hundredth, that's 2 decimal places, then you'd put this in your calculator, and I got 69.12 inches. Okay, so either of those is correct. It just depends on the direction. Okay, so this one asks you to find the radius of a circle if we know the circumference. So the formula we're going to use again is the one with the radius, so 2 pi r. We know the circumference is 4, and we're trying to find the radius. So you have an equation, 4 equals 2 pi r. 2 pi is a number. I do not want you to put it in your calculator and round at this point, because you will end up getting a rounding error that will make your answer in the end off by a bit. So wait till the very end to put pi in your calculator. So 2 pi is a number. That means I can divide by it, so it cancels out on the right side. On the left side, I get that. So once again, if I say leave your answer in terms of pi, then you need to simplify as much as you can without putting pi in the calculator. And I know 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the radius is 2, and the pi was in the denominator, millimeters. So if I say leave your answer in terms of pi, that's an exact answer. That would be your answer. But if I say round to the nearest hundredth, that is 0.64 millimeters. So those are the 2 different answers I might ask for. Okay, so for this one, it says what's the circumference of a circle with radius 24 meters in terms of pi? So we want pi in our answer. At the right is one student's solution. What error did the student make? Well, just looking at the picture, this says a radius of 24, and the picture does not have a radius of 24. It has the diameter as 24. And you can see they used the circumference formula that has diameter in it. So that's the problem. I'm going to say they used 24 as the diameter instead of the radius. Okay, let's try another one. So for this one, you have a car whose tires are 4.7 feet across, and the manufacturer of the car tells you that the car has a turning radius of 16.1 feet. So if you do donuts in the parking lot, this is the smallest circle that your car can make. But that you'll realize is the outside of the car. The inside of the car actually turns a smaller circle than the outside of the car. And so both of those circles are drawn in this picture. I thought this was kind of interesting. So this car, the tires are about 4.7 feet away from each other. So we can figure out the circumference of the circle made by the outside tires and the circumference made by the inside tires. So let's see here. If I take the outside tires, we've got that the radius is 16.1 feet. But if you look at the inside tires, the radius, we have to take that 16.1 and subtract 4.7. And that gives us 11.4 feet. Okay, so we have our two radiuses, 16.1 and 11.4. So from that, we're just going to find the two circumferences. This one is 2 times pi times 16.1, which is 32.2 pi feet. And the other one, we will get 2 times pi times 11.4, which is 22.8 pi feet. Okay, do not put those in your calculator. Try to leave off on putting pi in your calculator till the very end. So the question asks for what's the difference between the inside and the outside circle. So difference means subtract. We're going to do 32.2 pi minus the inside is 22.8 pi. Now is when you put it in your calculator because we are figuring out the answer. What is the difference in those the turning radius of the inside and the outside tire? They're the circumference that they would drive in a circle. And that is 29.53 feet, which I think is really crazy because the car, if it turns in a circle, the outside tires travel almost 30 feet more than the inside tires. 30 feet is a pretty long ways. I'm thinking it's like a 3-story house. It'd be like the distance to the 3rd story of a building or whatever. So I thought that was pretty interesting.